students, welcome to lecture 1 of PUC first year classes. In the last few classes we have completed structure of atom, then classification of elements and periodicity properties, then some basic concepts of chemistry, chemical bonding and molecular structure, and states of matter. 5 topics we have completed. Now it is a turn of next topic, which is equilibrium. From physical chemistry. In theory examination, it carries around 12 marks. In KCET examination, around 3 MCQs will be asked from this topic, and NEET and JEE examination, around 1 MCQ will be asked from this topic. So, very important topic, weightage wise, concept wise, and it is related to other topics like thermodynamics in first year, chemical kinetics in PUC second year. So many interrelated questions are asked on this topic. If you ask any PUC second year student which topic they want to revise in second year after passing first year, normally students says they want to repeat GOC, general organic chemistry, and equilibrium, because the questions asked in the MCQs are twisted. So concept should be very clear, then only you can solve those MCQs. The topic is numerical question based topic, so practice is needed for that. Now this equilibrium topic is divided into 2 subtopics. The first is called as chemical equilibrium, and another is called as ionic equilibrium. So first we complete chemical equilibrium, and then we'll go for ionic equilibrium. Now when we start learning about chemical equilibrium, there are 2 words. Chemical means related to chemistry, and there is another word, equilibrium. Equilibrium means balance in a chemical reaction. Now what type of balance we are talking about in a chemical reaction? For that, we have to divide the chemical reactions. Into 2 categories. Of course, we can classify chemical reaction in so many ways: oxidation, reduction, combustion, displacement, double displacement, substitution, elimination, condensation, so many type of rearrangement, so many type of reactions you come across when you learn chemistry. But here we are classifying the chemical reactions in these 2 categories. One is called as irreversible reaction, and another is called as reversible reaction. Now, what type of these reactions are irreversible and reversible? We can say the irreversible reactions are those reactions which proceeds only in one direction. Now what we mean by which proceeds only in one direction? There is a reactant A, it gives B. This is possible. But again this B gives A is not possible. That is called as the irreversible reaction. It proceeds only in one direction, this type of reactions. For example, hydrogen chloride plus sodium hydroxide, neutralization reaction we are talking about. It forms sodium chloride plus water, neutralization, acid plus base plus salt plus water. This is possible. But NaCl, when we put into water, we will not get this HCl and NaOH back. This is not possible. So we say that this proceeds only in one direction, reactant product. Products are unable to form reactant tag. That's why we call it as the irreversible reaction. Say this reaction CH4 plus O2, methane hydrocarbon, used as fuel. When we burn it, combustion reaction, we get H2O. This is possible, but there is no way of getting methane and oxygen by combining carbon dioxide and H2O. We get carbonic acid, but not methane and oxygen. Otherwise, our all needs of fuel should have been satisfied. From carbon dioxide and H2O, again we get fuel. Burn fuel, get carbon dioxide H2O, again we get fuel. But it's not so. That's why we have this energy crisis, isn't it? If this is reversible, we would have designed engines in such a way that we can get fuel back. So it proceeds only in one direction, and it is represented by a single arrow. How to recognize this reversible reaction? Represented by single arrow from reactant to product. Single arrow is drawn in the reversible reaction like this. Third thing, we can say that reactants are completely consumed. Reactants are completely consumed and we get products out of them. The reaction gets completed. Fourth, we can say no state of equilibrium. In this type of reactions, there is no state of equilibrium arises, because equilibrium arises only in case of reversible reaction. So very simple characteristics of the reversible reaction. Proceeds only in one direction, represented by a single-headed arrow. Reactants get completely consumed, and there is no state of equilibrium occurs in this type of reaction. But apart from that, there are some chemical reactions which we call it as reversible reaction. Now, what are the characteristics of reversible reaction? We can see a reversible reaction. Reversible reaction. We can say that these reactions proceeds in both directions. Now, what type of both directions we are talking about? Forward and backward. What do we mean by forward and backward? Reactant A gives B and reactant B gives A. Both reactions are possible here. This type of reactions we are talking about. There are many such reactions in chemistry. It proceeds in both direction, forward and backward reaction. It is represented by represented by double-headed arrow, just like this single-headed arrow. Here double-headed arrow, because reactant gives product and product gives back reactant. Third thing, we can say that reactants never consumed completely, because products gives back reactant, so they never get consumed completely. Fourth thing, we can say that occurs in closed container. These reactions occurs in closed container. Products are not allowed to escape out. For example, this calcium carbonate gives CaO plus CO2. If this carbon dioxide is allowed to escape, it is not available to react with CO and give back CaCO. So it should be in closed container. The reaction should occur in a closed container. An important property is that equilibrium is attained. Equilibrium is attained. Equilibrium is a state of which reaction? Reversible reaction. Now what we mean by equilibrium? We can compare this with this game called as tug of war. This type of rope is there, and few people pull this rope from this side. Of course, there are many group of people, they pull this from this side and from this side, opposite side. And that side which has more strength to pull this is a winner team, isn't it? This is the entertainment game. People play like that. If they are pulling this rope with the equal strength, the rope will remain in the middle. It will not shift it to this side or this side, because this forward force is equal to the backward force. Then we say that this particular rope is in equilibrium, or this type of balance is there. These two components, they are of equal weight. They remains in between. Same way. So we can say that it is in the equilibrium. If it goes down, it is not in equilibrium. If it goes down, it is not in equilibrium. But if they are in of same position, we say that it is in equilibrium. So like that, in reversible reaction, the speed of formation of A to B is equal to speed of formation of B to A. That is called as the equilibrium. The rate of speed of forward reaction is equal to speed of backward reaction is called as equilibrium. So equilibrium is attained in which reaction? Reversible reaction. It is not attained in irreversible reaction because it occurs only in one direction, forward direction. The question of equilibrium arises only when there are two opposing reactions taking place. If it is taking place in one direction, no equilibrium. But if there are two directions, forward and reverse, there is possibility that rate of speed of forward reaction, reactant to product, is same as product to reactant. And that particular stage is very important in chemistry, and we call it as the equilibrium. In case of, if it is in chemical reaction, we call it as chemical equilibrium. If it is physical process, we call it as physical equilibrium. If it occurs in aqueous medium, ions are formed, we call it as ionic equilibrium. So there are various prefixes we use, but what we mean by equilibrium is a stage or a state in a reversible reaction in which the rate of forward reaction, rate means speed of forward reaction, conversion of reactant to product, is equal to speed at which reactant is converted to the product is converted to the reactant. That is called as the equilibrium. Now, if we put this in graphical ways, because we need to understand it in various ways, we need to calculate value and compare with so many reactions and draw conclusions regarding this. So some graphical representations you try to understand it, then of course it will take some time to digest this equilibrium concept, but we should try again and again. I will do various examples regarding that. If I draw this graph, on the y-axis I draw the concentration of reactant. I will write this in square bracket, means molar concentration, mole per liter, and this is time. The reactant concentration go on decreasing and it becomes 0. It means reactant is consumed completely because this is 0 and reactant concentration is 0. It means which type of reactions we are talking about here? This is the irreversible reaction. Why we say so? Because concentration of reactant becomes equals to 0. Reactants are consumed completely. The same type of graph I will plot, see how it goes in a reversible reaction. I will write here concentration, and this is the concentration of the reactant, and this is the concentration of the product, like this. This is the concentration of the reactant, go on decreasing, concentration of product go on increasing, and after some time they becomes equal, constant, and that is called as equilibrium. Not equal, they are constant. Concentrations are constant and rate becomes equal. These two words we have to remember in equilibrium. Concentrations of reactant and product are constant and rate of reaction becomes equal. So constant can be this type or constant can be of this type also, serial. This is the concentration of product, this is the concentration of reactant, and here they are equal. Or it can be like this also. This is concentration, this is time, like this. This is reactant concentration, this is product concentration. But here they are equal. Here they are equal as well as constant. Not necessary that they are equal, but they may be equal. You are understanding this? Constant but not equal. Reactant concentration is greater than product. Product concentration is greater than reactant, but they are constant. Concentration of reactant and concentration of product, they are constant as well as equal. But if I plot all these graphs are of course for what we can say at equilibrium point. This equilibrium point, this is equilibrium point, and this is equilibrium point. And if I plot one more graph of rate, this is rate of reaction, speed of reaction with time. I should plot like this. This is equilibrium. This is the speed of forward reaction and this is speed of backward reaction, and at one point they become equal. It is called as equilibrium. Now, see, various representations are there, not at all difficult, you just think about it. If I plot this graph like rate of reaction, and this is time, and if I plot like this, rate of forward reaction decreasing, rate of backward reaction increasing, and they becomes constant. It is not equilibrium because rates are not equal. For concentration we can draw like this, but for rate you have to draw only like this, because here rates are constant, but rates are not equal. The condition is that rate of forward reaction should be equal to rate of backward reaction, equilibrium condition. And another one is concentration of each of reactant and product is constant and equal. Equal what? Equal should be rate, and constant what? Concentration. Which concentration? Concentration of reactant and product. The concentration should be constant and rate should be equal. These are the two most important conditions of the equilibrium. Now, these are the properties of equilibrium. So, first property we just now came to know, that rate of forward reaction should be equal to rate of reverse backward reaction. Another one, concentration of each reactant. There may be more than one reactant or more than one product. Each reactant and product should be constant. Then we will say that it is, because the same thing, this is the probe and few people are coming from this side and this side. It should be at the same position. Then we say that it is in equilibrium. If it is shifted to one side, it is not equilibrium. Either to forward or to backward, it is not equilibrium. It should be at one side. And third point we can say regarding the equilibrium fact, it is dynamic in nature. Now what we mean by dynamic? Dynamic in nature means it is not static. It is not static. It is dynamic. For example, if we have one room here and we have two doors here. People are coming from this door and they are exiting from this door. This is entry and this is exit. And there are 5 people in this room. They enter, they leave. But always there is a constancy of these 5 persons in that room. It means that it is moving, so it is dynamic. But only 5 persons are there, so it is equilibrium. You are understanding this? Because rate of entry should be equal to rate of exit. Then only this is possible. If they are entering more than 5 will be there. Entering more than exit, more than 5. Exiting more than entry, less than 5. But if rates are equal, always there will be 5. One more example we will take. That we have this type of water tank, and the rate of inward flow is equal to rate of outward flow. Then this water level remains constant. Even though water is coming inside tank and it is moving out, but this level becomes constant. So we call this as dynamic. It is not that water is not coming and not going, that's why it is constant. It is not like that. It is coming and going. But thing is that the rate of inward flow is equal to rate of outward flow. People are entering and exit the hall. But thing is that the rate of entry is equal to rate of exit. That's why only fixed number of people they are staying in the hall at a particular time. So it is dynamic, it is moving, but rates are equal and concentrations are constant. So this type of thing exists in the reversible reactions which we have to learn. So third thing is it is dynamic. Fourth and important thing regarding the equilibrium that can be attained from both directions. Can be attained from both directions. It means we have this reaction. Dinitrogen tetroxide reversibly gives 2 moles of nitrogen dioxide. It's a reversible reaction. If we start from dinitrogen tetroxide, we get 2 moles of nitrogen dioxide. Or if we start from 2 moles of nitrogen dioxide, we get dinitrogen tetroxide in either way, but it is reversible. So either you start from reactant or product, the equilibrium can be attained because they are interconvertible. That's why reactant can give product and product can give reactant. Either you start from reactant or you start from product. If the reaction is reversible, it is bound to be in the phase of equilibrium. So it can be attained from both the directions. How will come to know? This is colorless gas and this is reddish brown gas. At equilibrium, we get pale brown gas. The reddish brown gas intensity is decreased, and this colorless, its intensity is increasing, and we get this pale brown. Hydrogen and iodine. Iodine is deep violet. Reversibly gives 2 moles of hydrogen iodide. At equilibrium, this intensity of violet color decreases and it becomes constant. And we say that equilibrium has been attained. So equilibrium can be attained either from reactant or from the product. Fifth one, it is attained only in closed container. We already know it because the products are allowed to escape. Calcium carbonate, CO plus CO2. If this CO2 is allowed to escape, it will not form calcium carbonate. Again, that's why it should be in closed container. The reaction should be carried out in closed container. Concentration of reactant, pressure and intensity of color is constant. At equilibrium, if we measure the pressure of the gaseous reactant and product, concentration of reactant and product, and observe the intensity, which is a constant thing. Even though it is dynamic, the speeds are equal. So it is constant. So one thing we can say that equilibrium can be disturbed, means we can push the reaction either in forward direction or in backward direction by change in concentration pressure. We can add more reactant and push the reaction to forward direction. We can add more product and push the reaction to the backward direction. We will see that in detail. But thing is that equilibrium can be disturbed. Disturb means either we can have a condition in which there is more forward and less backward, or there is less forward and more backward. We can disturb that state of equilibrium by changing the conditions like temperature and pressure. Another one important property is that catalyst does not alter the equilibrium. Catalyst increases the speed of forward and backward reaction, but with same magnitude. For example, if this is the rate of reaction and this is the equilibrium, the equilibrium can be attained with catalyst earlier, but it will increase the rate of forward reaction, decrease the rate of backward reaction to the same extent. So it does not favor, catalyst does not favor any reaction either forward or backward. That's why when we say equilibrium can be disturbed by changing concentration pressure, we are not adding here that by using the catalyst, because catalyst will encourage the forward reaction and backward reaction to the same extent. That's why we are not referring to that. So catalyst does not alter the equilibrium, because it increases the rate of forward direction and reverse direction to the same extent. And last one, we can say that there is a free energy change of the reaction at equilibrium that equals to 0. This point and this disturbed point we have to learn in detail. This part of our syllabus. But that standard free energy change is equal to 0 at equilibrium. So these are some 9 points. Rate of forward reaction is equal to rate of backward reaction. Concentration of each of the reactant and product is constant. Equilibrium is dynamic in nature. It can be obtained from both directions. It is attained in closed container. Concentration, pressure, intensity of color is constant. Can be disturbed by changing concentration, pressure. Catalyst does not alter the equilibrium, and at equilibrium the free energy change of reaction is equal to 0. We will see these 2 points, 9 point and 7 point, in detail afterwards. So what we mean by reversible reaction? 3-4 properties. Examples. These are the examples. What are characteristics of reversible reaction? Proceeds in both directions. State of equilibrium can be attained. Reactants consumed completely. Attained in a closed container. Right. And examples and various graphical representation. Graphs of concentration of reactant and product, and graph of rate of reaction with time. And then its properties of the equilibrium. It is dynamic in nature. Rate of forward reaction is equal to rate of backward reaction. Attained in a closed container. Can be attained from both directions. Then concentration of reactant and product is constant. Disturbed by changing concentration of temperature, by concentration, pressure, and free energy change equals to 0, and catalyst does not alter the state of equilibrium. So these are the only 2 questions, but very important questions. Define reversible reaction. State properties of the reversible reaction. Define chemical equilibrium. State properties of the chemical equilibrium. So these 7-8 points we need to understand in these properties. Now, why this equilibrium is important and how to identify? How to identify concentrations are constant and rate of reactions are equal, and intensity, pressure, they does not changes with time. We say that equilibrium has been attained. Now, how to calculate it mathematically? For that, we have to take the help of law of mass action. This law of mass action is law which comments on theoretical rate of reaction. Theoretical. Experimental rate of reaction is given by a rate law which comes in topic, namely chemical kinetics, which we have to learn in PUC second year. But this law of mass action, which is theoretical, which we have to learn in this first year only in equilibrium, and we learn it now. We'll consider reversible reaction. A is reactant, B is product. 2 moles of A gives 2 moles of B. This is what the reaction is. Law of mass action states that rate of reaction is directly proportional to product of active masses. What do we mean by active masses? Molar concentration of each reactant raised to powers equal to their stoichiometric coefficients. We'll try to understand what we mean by this. For that, we will split this reaction in 2 ways. 2A gives 2B and 2B gives 2A. We call this reaction as forward. It is moving in reactant to product, and this from product to reactant. So we call it as backward. According to this law, rate of reaction, I'll write it as RF, is directly proportional to product when there are more than one reactant, but here is only one reactant. Active mass is nothing but molar concentration. This is molar concentration of what? Reactant. And raised to 2 powers, here I have to write power, equal to what? Their stoichiometric coefficient, like this. How we can write for this backward reaction? The rate of backward reaction is directly proportional to concentration of B and raised to 2, because 2 is the stoichiometric coefficient. I will have here constant, proportionality constant. I will write K because forward, and here KB because of reverse. Now we know that at equilibrium, rate of forward reaction is equal to rate of backward reaction. That's how we define the equilibrium. So K of A square is equal to KB B square, and we can say Kf by Kb equal to B square by A square, and this ratio we call it as rate constant of forward reaction and rate constant of backward reaction is called as the equilibrium constant. So equilibrium constant is a ratio of what? molar concentration of product raised to their stoichiometric coefficient to the molar concentration of the reactant raised to their stoichiometric coefficient. This is called as the equilibrium constant. Kc is called as equilibrium constant. Kf is called as rate constant of forward reaction.